Okay, I think we're live. Yay! We did it. Welcome to session 3 of the Resonance Code. Just going to make myself comfortable. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. Thank you so much for doing the homework. I will admit to you, I'm starting to feel a little bit tired, which is a sign to me that I'm using too much of my head sometimes. And it's a reminder of not, sometimes we just really have to let the spirit guide us and to let less preparation, less bullet points, less things to say, and just to let kind of the spirit guide whatever's going to be said, and just let the flow come through. So let's see. I see some comments. Okay, Jay is in the house, Shayna is in the house, and Dina is in the house. So good to see you. All right, who else is here? Who else is here, you guys? I'm so excited. It's been such a great day. I'm reading the homework and I feel so blessed. I feel so fortunate. I feel so, this feels really good, even though I'm a little bit tired. Ilthika, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Please let me know. Rose is back. My makeup is a little bit of a mess. The second live, they're pinned up on the top in group where it says featured. You guys, there's a little like accordion thing. So the homeworks and the videos are up there on top. Hopefully you can find them. If not, tag me in one of the posts or tag Jay, or Jay is going to go ahead and tag you. So logistics. There's still time to register for tomorrow. We're going to be closing registrations tonight at 7, so Jay can relax and have her evening and not deal with logistics of where to find you guys. So that's 7 Mountain. It's going to be 9 Eastern. So you're going to have all the buy links in the chat. If you invited some folks or were live on all 3 sessions and did the homework, please message the team Visionary Circle as well and let us know. Again, like before 7 Mountain, 9 Eastern. And tomorrow we're meeting 11 Eastern, 2 Eastern, and 5 Eastern. And I'm really looking forward to the conversations. Okay. All right. So let's reset. Get comfy. Okay, there's one more thing. The buying guide is happening on Wednesday live in this group at 11 p.m. And those of you I'm friends with, you probably got an invitation to the event. So the buying guide is the info session where I'll be walking you guys through our offerings. It's going to be a super fun event. You know, you get to come and show up, and I'll tell you about what we're doing, and whether it's a yes for you for now or at some point in the future. That's totally completely up to you, and you might get some inspiration about sales, because that's what we're talking about here as well. But before we go there, let me just double check. Yay, Danny's back in the house. Awesome. Okay, before we go there, there's some things I want to address about sales. So the first topic is really huge for entrepreneurs. It has to do with the fear of failure. Fear of public failure, to be more specific. A lot of us hold back because what it's going to mean when we put our new idea out there and it fails and everybody's going to watch. In the business coaching space, it's especially very, very vulnerable because we're business coaches and the clients are watching. And I always has this need to like keep pushing and keep launching and keep getting more and more clients, because if they don't see me succeeding, then they're going to start questioning me, and they're like, why am I even working with you when you're not succeeding? So that's in the business coaching space. However, it shows up in other spaces as well, where we feel the push and pressure to be constantly winning, to be constantly have our shit together, to be leading by example in order to be worthy of launching, worthy of selling, worthy of helping others. Have you experienced that for yourself? And this is the distinction between mentoring and coaching. And one big distinction is the coach is the coach. The coach doesn't have to run faster than the athlete. You see, the coach is there to provide space. The mentor must have something figured out because the mentor is saying, okay, I did this, you can do it too, right? So, and there's no question about it. They have had some success with what they're teaching, right? Versus the coach is succeeding and failing and succeeding and failing. And oftentimes, and that includes the liberator, by the way, and oftentimes the failing is absolutely necessary because the pain is what drives the insights that we have, the struggles that we have, that is driving the insights that are going to serve our clients. So you can't be succeeding all the time. Wouldn't work for you as a coach. And there is trauma that causes for us to be afraid of public failure. This is something that I discovered for myself. Maybe you will relate, but I was picked on like really, really heavily and bullied for years and years and years and years. I was a very, very unpopular kid, and I decided, I made a decision at that time that I was going to build a life that was so awesome, and I was just going to be so cool, and I was going to have such a cool life that nobody could ever make fun of me. Right? And when you do that, when we have those wounds, then we're just feeding the ego of looking good, improving success, improving glamour. And every time we put a post out there and it doesn't have any likes, it doesn't have the validation, it doesn't have the acknowledgement that we're looking for, we hurt. But that's part of the game, because when you transition to something that is new, that is vulnerable, when you start putting offers out there, right? It's going to be very vulnerable, and not everybody's going to be like, yes, I'm ready to buy. In fact, we used to do 7-day retreats. I haven't done one for a while. I might do one again. I'm not sure. But every time we would open card on Thursday, right? I would teach Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I open card on Thursday, which means I make my offer and then I do the info session and I tell people, okay, this is how you work with us. And they have till Sunday to decide whether they want to move forward with the next cohort and join us or not, right? I will tell you honestly, there were, and this includes retreats that generated $100, $200, $250, $500,000 in revenue. And it was always the same. On Thursday, we would make the offer and it would be crickets. And we would ask people to hop on a call and like nobody would schedule it, maybe one person. There were some really successful retreats when we have a bunch of people sign up, but the majority of them, we would put an offer out there and it was literally crickets. And then people would like wait and see and watch and then sign up. Literally, we would have a slew of people in the last day and a slew of people in the last 10 minutes. And I say this to my clients because it was the same for them. It would literally I would get tearful messages time after time on Fridays. And people would be like, everybody's telling me they don't have the money. Everybody's telling me they can't afford it. We called it Cry Wolf Friday in our client group because it was always like that. People are like, oh my God, I can't afford it. And everybody's freaking out, And the client's like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Maybe I overpriced it. Maybe there's something going on, right? And it's like, that's all the doubt and all the second guessing comes back. And you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? You have to know this space and you have to sit with your feelings as you go through it. Sales is one of the biggest teachers for us in business, and it can be really, really, really difficult if you're attached to the outcome, right? And if you're attached to looking like a success, oh my gosh, it can be very, very difficult. So it's a conversation I want to have with you guys so that you know. So, it can be, and people are like, I don't want a launch. I cannot deal with the pain of that. I don't want to do 7-day retreats because it's so painful. I don't know. Am I going to have 20 people sign up for my 10K package, or is it going to be one person, or is it going to be 0, or is it going to be 50? Like, I have no idea, right? And literally, like, we have had retreats. That generated 0. We have had retreats that generated 3K, and we have retreats that generated 350K, and it's like, you just don't know. And sometimes it's the same content, the energy is good, but sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And there's a million different variations that can show up. We have had clients have like 3 failed retreats and then a huge success. And they have clients who had like 2, 3 amazing retreats, but they generated 152, 250,000, and then go third one and be a complete flop. And you have to be completely surrendered about it. Well, you don't have to be. You don't have to be. That's a process, right? But really trusting, really allowing, really trusting. And that's such a healing game. And it is like, oh my gosh, it's difficult. It's difficult for me still. I have my attachments. I have my hopes, right? If we aren't publicly succeeding, we don't feel worthy of publicly succeeding. Gotcha. Okay. I'm not sure I follow. My brain is tired. I'm not sure I'll be able to give you much logical stuff. We'll just talk about the heart of selling. Okay. So there's another topic that I want to address, and that's the speed of your growth. So you can grow like this and then pause and nothing happens, like no sales. And then you can grow like this again and then pause and there's no sales happening. Or you can do the steady thing, right? There's no right and wrong. Everybody has their ways, but there's one rule for us, and that is the business is the tool for spiritual transformation. Business is the medicine. In order to expand your business, you have to expand yourself, which means you're going to have to heal a crap load of things. And that's the best thing ever, right? Because we're literally like, we're forced to heal and to expand as we grow our business. Because if we don't, what are you going to do when you have 100 clients in your 15, 20K program? And then not everybody's happy at the same time. You have to hold space for it. You have to hold energy for it. And you have to hold energy for it all, not just raving clients with success all the time, right? That's one thing. You have to be able to hold the lows. You have to be able to hold the clients complaining and coming to you and saying, you know, I want my money back, or I'm really not happy with this. I thought I signed up for one thing. I'm dealing with another. And my very favorite thing, it's out of alignment. It's out of alignment for me. It's literally is such, you're going to see this with your clients. Maybe you already seen it, but that's like, you know, when the fear, and not sometimes, not always, right? But when the fear learns the spiritual language and it bypasses everything, and you're like, okay, it must be out of alignment. When you look back, the things you thought were out of alignment, and you look back, maybe it was, but maybe there was an enormous trigger. But we believe it in the moment. We believe it so much that it really must be out of alignment. And we look some deeper. It's like, no, it is really just fear. So you're going to get that. And there's going to be a lot of shame and a lot of guilt that is going to show up. It's like, okay, I didn't give enough. Maybe I shouldn't have invited this person in my program. Maybe I didn't give them enough. Maybe my program isn't worth it. And then your sales is going to start slumping. You're going to start questioning yourself. Then you're going to start feeling out of integrity, right? So those are some of the painful moments that we have to be ready for. So if you go like this and you launch really fast and you make a lot of money, you'll come to a point where you need to start integrating all the learning that happens, right? So you need to pause a little bit. You need to give back to yourself. You need to slow it down. You have to go inward and do some inner healing. Or you grow like this, you can do the healing as you go, right? So that's kind of up to you. I'm super curious for you guys. Which way do you operate? What's your modus operandi? Is this the explosive, really, really fast growth? Or is it the steady in integrating the lessons as you go? Somebody says this has been my magic. Okay. Reading the comment. Okay. Rose says the second one. Expose it. I think you meant to say exploded. Yes. Okay. I have withdrawn to heal myself and integrate the lessons, waiting to approach it again with new strength and trust. Sometimes there is the fear of disappointment to heal. We failed so many times and it hurt our heart so much that we just cannot bring ourselves to do it again. Let me know if you feel any of that. It's really, really difficult. The resistance that you have to move through is so big. When that's the case, I thought it was, right? There is that's the failure. That's the trauma that needs to be healed. Going into the feelings that particular failure or the last 10 failures, whatever it was, right? That needs to be moved, but you need to go deep, deep, deep within. Underneath the disappointment, underneath the sadness, underneath the embarrassment. And then you go back in time and just see this might be a thing from childhood, but this might also be something from past life. This might be something you have been carrying with you, right? The wounded healers are wounded healers for a reason. We have been, some of us have been doing this for a while, and sometimes there's betrayal that happens, right? From people who abandoned you, maybe team members, right? Maybe clients, maybe something else, maybe people in your life. So it's quite important to not, like, if you push through it and you'll make yourself launch, this frequency, this energy that is within you is going to mess with it. And you're going to keep attracting the same pain, the same disappointment, the same excruciating pain that shows up when you fail, or even worse, fail publicly and somebody comes and asks you about it. Oh my gosh. I remember my first restaurant, we hit the first low season. I think low season, I can't remember. It was like June or something, and we were really slow. And this woman comes to the restaurant. It was a paleo, gluten-free, grain-free, just all natural restaurant, right? And it was in an interesting environment. There was a lot of people, we put maple sugar into something and they would be pissed off that there's maple sugar because that's not okay. It was, oh my gosh, Boulder. It was fun times. Yeah. But there's somebody who would come to the restaurant and always pick on everything, It's like, you're not supposed to serve even maple syrup. It's not healthy enough, and da-da-da. And one day she comes and she looks at me and she's so well-meaning, bless her heart. She was like, I see you're really slow. Are you guys going to make it? I still remember how I felt in that moment. And I mask on, I just said something to protect my identity. Yeah, I'm just slow today. No big deal, But underneath, of course, I was terrified. It was their first slow season, I was terrified. I was like, oh my gosh, am I failing? Did I do something wrong? The shame and all of that comes out, Oh my gosh. Family asked about it. Yeah. Some of you guys have family members who are like, is this for real what she's doing? If you're doing something a little bit on the woo side, right? And people don't necessarily understand. They think you're crazy. Doing all this healing, they will be your spiritual teachers. They will poke and prod and they will see. Yeah. Anybody else have those people in your life? Or maybe it's not even real people. Maybe it's the imaginary people. Maybe it's the people who imagine are judging you. Who is the one person? Think of the one person that you kind of have in your mind and you want them to know that you're succeeding in your business. You really, really need them to know that you made it. Someone says, my mom. Who is that one person? If you have one, give me a yes in the chat. Dad, mom, right? Yes. Ex, the exes, right? Right. Okay. Lots of mom and dads. Maybe it's classmates from middle school, high school, grade school, whatever. You're not even friends with them on Facebook. Former mentor. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Yes. Yeah. Okay. People who didn't believe in us. Anybody who didn't believe in you. So now, let me ask you this. Once you have your person, what are you afraid that they will say or think if they see you fail? And what's the emotion it brings up? And allow yourself to feel that. The resistance to their criticism, to resistance to their judgment. Allow yourself to bring it up. I'm going to try to repeat this, Rose, but I can't remember what I just said. Bring up the one person who you really want to look successful in front of. And what are you afraid that they will think of you if you fail? And what emotion does it bring up for you? Okay, you wasted all this time and money. Okay. How does that make you feel, imagining them saying this to you? Because all you have to do is feel through that thing. All you have to do is feel through it. Feelings, and you guys know this. You guys do this for a living. Feeling your feeling heals you, right? What does this bring up for you? Feel the resistance to their criticism. Feel the resistance to that. Yeah, and keep bringing up the shame, the embarrassment, the shame, everything you're feeling. It's like just let yourself feel it. Let yourself dissolve it. Guilt, shame, embarrassment. Yes, so good. So good. So you start dissolving that, and all there's to do is forgiveness practice with them. And you start sort of dissolving these things that are between you guys. And they will stop saying that to you. You might get a feedback loop when you dissolve this. They will actually start being very supportive of you when you stop caring. Because they're your teachers. They're to, irresponsible, right? So irresponsible of you to be running around following your heart, your soul. You're crazy. Get back with the matrix. Get back with our system, right, Karina? Andrea said, I feel so blessed to have worked through this. So good. Yes, I'm so happy for you. Someone says my mother is praying against my business. That's really tough. That's really tough. What do you do? I don't see your name because it says Facebook users for me up here. But yeah, I have this with some of my clients, when you get into working with light beings and past life regression and hypnosis and whatever, facilitating multidimensional stuff, and you've got parents with super strict religious upbringing, they will have some stuff to overcome, right, around it, because it's questioning everything they believe. And there is a process of dealing with that, and there's a forgiveness process, and it can be very difficult, but that's part of the journey. Reconciliation with mom and dad. So that was a little bit of a sidetrack. Hope you guys found it helpful. We're back to sales. So with sales, you get to choose how you want to sell. You sell to the ego, or you tell the truth and complete transparency of communication, and you respect the people in front of you, and you trust them that they will make decisions based on their higher self. And there's no right and wrong around this. Because if you're working with people who have no access to the soul yet, you have to speak to their ego, because that's all they can hear. Right? There's no right and wrong as long as you know that this is what they will hear. For me, it's like I want to work with people who have that access. I want to work with people. I work with people who are out there to transform the world. So for me, I realized it's important to trust them and to let them make their decision on their own, right? So the ego-based ways of selling, I can sell like that all day long. I can teach you the 13-point pitch, all the things you need to cover, how you sell to the hierarchy of needs, all the things you need to mention, the scarcity, the urgency, all the things that need to be done and mentioned, and you pull in this and you pull in that, and you create this master pitch, and you can practice with me all day long, and that's great, right? Now, for me, it kills my soul a little bit. I really don't like it. I really don't like that stuff, because it's a little bit even if it's not straight up manipulative, it's still controlling. It's still this, I'm saying something in order for you to take action. See what I mean? The energy is like that. It's like I'm trying to hook you. But that's how most people teach it, right? So the new way of selling is really transparent communication. It's actually not new at all. It's been done a long time, until the business coaching industry came on board and they designed a bunch of not so transparent ways to sell, right? Yeah. So, okay. So transparency of communication. The way I see it, if we treat people with respect and trust that they can make a decision on their own, it will all work out. In giving people the space to decide, right? So this is why I really, really love info sessions. What I do for selling is, number one, info session. I run them once in a while. I record them. Sometimes I'll email them out. Sometimes I go live in Facebook whenever I have a set of new offerings. I can do them as a standalone event, which I'm doing on Wednesday at 11 Eastern. It's called the Buying Guide, right? So it's very transparent. Hey, I'm going to walk you through what we have available right now. I don't know. There were times it would take me an hour. It's probably going to take me 25 minutes because it's pretty easy and it's pretty straightforward, right? But I kind of want to give you all the information. I want to have room to give you all the information. I want to have room to answer all the questions, right? Sometimes I do an info session at the end of a live event. So if I do a Zoominar or if I do a webinar, I'll teach for 60 minutes. I'll tell everybody at the beginning. At the end, there's going to be an info session. But for me, I don't like people feeling like they have to stay out of guilt. And I just don't want them to be there if they have no interest in buying from me. So I make it completely okay. And I don't want people there just to support me. You know what I mean? Like, I really want people there who are interested or who want to find out what we have and who want to plan for the future. So I make a transition and let people know, hey, feel free to jump off if you have somewhere else to be, or if you don't want to stick around for this. And then, no problem at all. I'll see you on the next session. This is when it's happening. And, there'll usually be like a couple people that jump, which is completely okay. And then I give myself the full permission to talk about what I'm passionate about, my programs, right? So info session is one. I'll make an announcements, but here's the thing. If you do your resonance marketing, if you share all the time, if you share your insights, the things that when they come out, and you're giving people so much as you do that already, you've earned the spot to go full out when you're announcing something that you're doing. Announcing your next piece, announcing the thing that you're excited about, your new program or whatever it is. This is where you have to come out of hiding and really bring that energy and say, this is it. This is what I'm announcing. I'm so proud of it. This is a masterpiece. This is who it's for. Here's what's it going to do, what it's designed to do. Here's who I want to see in the program. Okay? So you can announce it on your personal page, your program. You can email it out. You can run an info session. But you better make sure that people know, people who have followed you, and they're downloading every podcast, and they're reading every email, and they're showing up to every session. They know how to work with you. They know how to book a call with you if you're doing calls. They have all the information they need to have about what you're doing now, what you're going to be doing in the future if you know. Right? So it's a transparency issue, like being transparent, in integrity, respectful, right? Having respect for people to have to make their own decisions. But you don't have to chase them down. You don't even have to do sales calls. Like, I'm not going to be doing any sales calls for the next program because it doesn't make sense, right? If I'm on camera for like six straight hours and it's a program that doesn't require one-to-one interaction even, then, sales call, it's not necessary, right? So for programs, as a general rule, well, not a rule, you kind of have to go how you feel. So anything that I say here, if it doesn't feel right and you're going, okay, this doesn't resonate, or I don't like this, that's okay, right? This is what I would like for you to do, like really, really trust yourself with all of this. So I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? That's funny. I guess I wasn't meant to say that. Okay. So info session. Let's talk about money for a second, and charging and pricing. There is an enormous confusion when it comes to money, and money mindset, I think, can be a little bit surfacey with that. So we talked about the fear of public failure and trying to prove that you really got it right and you're doing the right thing and you're succeeding. And that's one of the things that make money so charged, because making money The revenue you're earning is the number of clients times how much is each of them paying you. And people tend to have both of those tied to their worthiness and success. If enough people are paying me, they're like paying me, you know what I mean? Like that must mean I'm really worthy. And if they're paying me enough, it's like they're paying me more than like $50, you know what I mean? They're paying me 30,000. That must mean like I'm really worthy. And vice versa. If nobody is paying you and you have been putting the offers out there, triggers a lot of shame, right? So that's the shame side of things. Now you have the guilt side of things, of charging too much. With all the collective programming. I mean, gee, even the Course in Miracles says that the therapist shouldn't charge for their work. Like, what are you supposed to do with that, you know? So now you're trying to toggle between shame and guilt, and whichever one wins sort of determines the level of your bank account until it's healed. You know what I mean? So we're not going to heal that right here, right now, because that's quite a thing, right? But if that's bringing something up for you and you're feeling this conversation somewhere in your body, then it might mean that this is for a later resolution. But on my books, I am completely okay with whatever the heck you want to charge. So some people literally have to charge $100K a year for a private program to make an impact with that person. Imagine if you're working with an executive who's earning $3 million a year. Do you think they're going to take your program seriously if it's $5K? And I'm talking about somebody who is very much still in a lot of their unconscious behavior. They cannot see a good thing unless there's a high price tag on it, right? And that's your target audience. Or you really know that it is your purpose to not work with large groups of clients, but to work with maybe 2 or 3 clients a year, but really go deep with them. And I'm talking like really deep with them. Maybe like 2, but you're going to do several in-person retreats with them. You're going to guide them. You're going to employ all your tools in your toolbox you have with them. Would it be okay to charge $300K a year for that program? You're giving them your best work. You're not even giving them all your time, but you're giving them just the best tools that you have. And it's somebody who can absolutely afford it. Would it be okay? Or you have one client like that is paying you so much money, they can afford it. It's right for them. It's right for you. It's right for everybody. And then you have a group program for people who will never be able to afford something like that. And they're paying you, I don't know, $300 a month, $200 a month. But they're all healing and they're all benefiting. You're not making a lot of profit on that, right? But they're all healing and they're benefiting, right? And you get to do this work with them because of this one client over here. Does that make sense? So money is just a tool. It's just an exchange. And then there's the group of people who say, but Eva, what I do comes to me really naturally. I have a gift, I have a talent. I feel really bad charging for it because it's my gift. Right? What do you do with that? Just because you have a talent, you don't get to be provided for? How does that even make sense? Would you rather pay somebody who's talented or the person who is working really hard and don't know what they're doing? Who would you pay more? Who does it make sense to pay more? Right? Like, this is shocking to me. I live in Nosara, Costa Rica, and there's just these powerful healers who are like $30. And I'm like, please start charging more. And then there are people who are like, but Eva, I don't provide ROI. I don't do business. Like, how can I justify people spending so much money with me when I don't give them a financial ROI? And I say, why are we here? Why did we come here? Did we really come here to accumulate, to make money, to build businesses? That's just the tool for spiritual transformation. What you guys are doing is so powerful. Don't discount the ROI. Working with you, when you go deep with somebody, especially when you give them your private time and they discover something that would have taken them 5 years on their own to get there, to unravel those blocks. And in a year working with you, they can get done years of work. And you're shrinking their timeline. You're literally reversing the whole life. You're reversing them going on the path of perfecting, switching that around when they're on the path back home to liberation. What is that worth? Can you even put price tag on it? Remember where you were when you were still lost, when you were still searching, when you were still looking, and you were so unhappy, so depressed, in so much apathy, in so much pain. You didn't even know how much pain you were stuck in. Remember? You were like, you're living this normal, like all the stress, all the craziness, it's normal. And then you look back, holy shit, how did I survive that? For somebody to come in and pluck you out of that and drop you here in a really wonderful program, what do you think it's worth to you? What would have been worth it to you? Somebody said, what is quality of life worth? But what is, like, why are we here? We're here to heal. We're here to grow, to love. We're here to transcend. If you're not doing that, what are you doing with your life? Right? Just next life, I guess. But this life, I saved up $500K for my retirement. It was great. Cool. Go promote it 3 times. Fantastic. Got it done. Check and check. All right, let's do it again. Right? It's like you invest in yourself that way, like, you know it. When you do it, it's the best thing ever for you. But you have to believe in your program when you're selling it. The success to sales is 2 things. You got to believe in the person, and you have to believe in the program, in the product, which is yourself, right? So, let's talk about this. Believing in the person. If you don't believe in them, if you don't believe they can transform, do not accept them in your program. It's that simple. Do not accept them in your program. If you don't believe that they can transform in your program, and you know it's not about you, but they're so, like, you just know that they are not there yet, don't accept them. It's not so much about them being wrong. You might just not have the tools to help them transform, right? If you have somebody who's in a really victimized state, and then you go in, okay, let me save you, right? And you play the Hail Mary pass, and I'm going to save you because you're in a pressure for money, but you don't really know if you can. It doesn't quite feel right, but you're like, somehow I'll figure it out. You're setting yourself up for a very stressful situation. So have the grace to say, I say no to people. I send them to somebody else. Sometimes it's because they literally say, hey, I need a lot of hand holding in business and tools and tech. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. I'm so sorry. Right? Because it's not my gift. It's not what I'm here to do, to teach you how to like turn on Instagram on your phone, right? And if they need the babysitting, that I send them to somebody who can do that for them. Right? So yeah, have the courage to say no to clients that are not right. And this is where it gets really trippy, because the mind will come in with a bunch of like, yeah, but we need the money, and maybe that will be okay. Maybe it'll be okay. Maybe it will sort. Let me talk to. No, go with your first gut feeling that you had, and send them to your free material, because things can always shift for them, right? Okay. Maybe if you have a group program, there's something that they need to do individually with you first to clear some of the blocks before they can succeed in the group program. Maybe you're not sure if they're fit for this, but if they do a VIP day with you, when you get a better sense of whether you can help them in a group program, that would be a good thing, right? How are you guys doing? Still here? Can we keep going? Are y'all good? Oh, thank you, Othika. Allison, thank you. Denny's still in a roll. I don't know how you guys do this. It's easier to teach than to be listening to it, and I'm tired. So I want to acknowledge you for being here and doing all the work and doing all the homework. I'm so impressed. So impressed. So, pricing. Let's talk about pricing. Okay, now I'm energized. So, oh yeah. Okay, pricing. It's like, I'm not going to tell you that you have to price like this. We have pricing all across. I can give you examples. Tomorrow is $150, right? Today is free. Start with free. Are you guys getting value out of today? Right? You can provide a lot of value for free and not have to feel bad about your high price programs. All right. Then we have the program school, which is I'm launching. That's my immersion. That's pretty low ticket. That's $24.44 for early bird, right? This week, then it's going to go up to, I think, 34.44. I don't know. I forget. Right? Then we have all the way till 40K. That's my private coaching. Now, when you charge, and that's, by the way, my colleagues charge between 50 and 100K, right? In the same level of experience and all that. So now with the private coaching, it has to make sense. I will not accept anybody into private coaching who is not at least at 200K, right? It just wouldn't make sense. Like, I wouldn't want a beginner to pay me 40K, because I know the trials and tribulations, and I don't know what's in your journey to actually start being really, really profitable. I don't know what you have to heal. So I don't want you to go in a financially dangerous situation by working with me privately. But there's folks that either have a ton of money and really want to do the private work, or who have a steady revenue in their business that's, it really makes sense for them. Okay. And then there's the in between, right? What kind of the world calls the high ticket, right? Between 5K and 40K. So we have had QI, which was a mastermind that I literally just ended when did it end? In March? No, May. And that was 30K. And that was for a 6 to 7 figure growth. By the way, that was so easy to teach. So your argument that, if you guys are having the argument, you can charge a lot for the things that are easy to you because it was the organizational stuff. That's like second nature to me. Like I can show you spreadsheets and all the systems and all the things that we do and how we track everything and how you onboard people and outboard people and this and that. It's like, that's easy, That's the operational side of things. That's easy. And it's a huge value to them. So that makes sense, right? We were charging 18K for a year-long mastermind for QLE. That was, people, like the ROI was crazy, right? People, for a lot of people, not for everybody, but for a lot of people, they would come in and do retreats. But, okay, so this is what I got. Like a lot of people would come in and they would get the ROI in literally like the first month or two when they were really, really excited. Like it was literally the first few weeks when they got the most value for most people. And they would go out and they would do these crazy launches and they would generate a shit ton of revenue. And then, they would kind of like coast and be there for a year or whatever. Okay. So then you can kind of, after you do that for a while, and you can figure out, well, okay, can I do something shorter then? If I want to have the flexibility to teach and then, do something for a month and then take 2 months off and then do that again, right? So that's why we're doing the program school, because I'm like, okay, let me see if I can give them the most important stuff in a month and then I can take time off. So, and then we have the Visionary Circle, which is 8K, 7777, right? And that's a 6-month mastermind where they meet with us once a week and they have all these other things added to it. Whatever school we do, they have included. So the pricing, I'm just giving you like a range of prices and examples. It can be all over the place. You can have low ticket stuff. You can have no ticket stuff. You can have like mid ticket stuff all the way to super high ticket stuff. I recommend you start with something free or super low price, like what I'm doing here right now, because it will help you. Well, number one, it will help you close sales later. It will help you invite people into your programs. You can do your info session tagged onto it. And depends, you can do some VIP days. If you're new, I started with VIP day. My first VIP day was like $299. I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself to sell. Like the pricing has to feel good to you. Don't feel pressured when you're new that you have to charge 5K a client. You don't. You can have the humility to say, you know what, I need to practice. I need to hone my intuition with my clients. I need to feel ready. So I'm going to charge, I'm going to charge what I'm going to charge right now. And then with each private client, you're going to increase the price tag. With each client, you get a little bit more confidence, Same thing with group programs. When we launched QLE, the final price was 18.6K. But when we launched, it was $697 a month. So it was like 6K a year or something. So it was 6K a year, and it was a complete business incubator. It was a huge, huge value for the people who joined at first, right? But then we started raising the price with each public launch that we did, which is, by the way, a really, really good idea because you're honing your skills, you're adding to a repertoire. Now you have some recorded things that they can start consuming as soon as they come, which is not the truth at the beginning, right? When they come in and there's nothing recorded, it's like, it's being taught live and they have to, if they can't be there live, they have to wait for the recording, versus when you have been running it for a while, you're better, the content is better, you have learned from your clients, you can start raising the price each time. And, the people who joined first, who are kind of your guinea pigs, who are the ones taking the, there's no testimonials here. Okay, but I feel it in my heart. I'm just going to do it. Awesome. I'm going to be the founding member of something really awesome. Okay, they jump in. It's awesome. They're rewarded because they get it at the lowest price, right? Versus the people who wait a year, they're paying double or triple. Make sense to everybody? Yeah. Oh, okay, good. I see your comments. Lots of value, 100% value, plus 100% value. Thank you so much. Eva says, I love shorter things for groups. Yeah, you can have a paid program, paid virtual program that is literally a week-long immersion or a weekend-long thing. With programs, you can have whatever you want, whatever length you want. Like, dream it up, it's possible. There's no one way to be doing this, right? There's a lot of things, there are a lot of people teaching you, okay, you have to do it this way because it worked for them, right? But there's so many ways, so many ways. And when you feel that excitement, when I say, hey, you should do a month-long immersion mastermind, and you feel the excitement, maybe you should do it. Maybe you should think about that. So that's pricing all over the place. The ways to launch, let's talk about launching. So there are free events you can do with no attachment to an outcome, which is what I'm doing here. Our door to the program school doesn't close until, when does it even start? July 5th? I think it's July 5th, so we're probably going to close door on like July 1st or something, right? I have zero pressure to enroll anybody into anything, and that's really cool, okay? Is it going to generate a lot of sales? Probably not, but I'm okay with that. I'm having fun, and there is this thing about like when you really just get to allow yourself to give, it just feels really good, right? And there's going to be a pre-sale this week, but you know, it's like for me, like, okay, if they don't buy on pre-sale, no problem. They still have like 2 weeks to buy, okay? Or you do launches that are designed specifically to bring a new cohort of people in. That's when you don't do just one info session. That's when you do one info session, then you do a circle with your clients where they share their success. When you do a recap of your info session, you put everything out there, you do countdowns, you have it very clear the price is going to go up. The cohort is starting next Monday or a week from now or 3 days from now or whatever it is. We have onboarding call, and you're very clear the next cohort for my program is starting on this day. Make sense? And then you can have very, very, very profitable launches. The 7-day retreats of all the models work the best for me for that kind of intention. But, you know, different people have different success with different things. You might be really, really great with 3-day things. You might be really great with 1-day thing. You might be really great with 90-minute thing. So there's so many different ways you can launch, and just kind of like listen for what resonates with you, listen for what excites you, right? So you can do a 7-day Zoom retreat. Basically what it is that you people put through sequence, something like what the Facebook challenges used to be, except you do it on Zoom, which for most of you is a good idea if you do experiential stuff, right? If you actually have people diving into things. Because on Zoom, you can stream music from your device, not just play music on a speaker and have people hear it through your computer, but you can stream music through your device. So we have done breathwork sessions like that. It was really wonderful. You can put people in a breakout rooms and you can have them talk to each other. You can have them share with each other, right? You can put them in dyads, triads, quadrads, whatever, right? You can see their faces, so you're kind of getting the visual feedback like that. And it's a little bit more private than in a Facebook group, right? So it tends to be a little bit of a better container. I'm not doing that because I'm doing 3 sessions in a day. And for me to see everybody's faces, like it would be exhausting. I would get like really, really drained by that. You know, I can see my clients when I know their faces, it's different, but it's like watching, you know, I saw it once I did a launch and we had it was like 330 people on Zoom during one session. I was like, oh my God, how do I hold space for all this? Like it was crazy. And we had to kick some people out. And, you know, when you have people coming through Facebook ads, it's just all over the place, right? So we had some people who were being rude and this and that. It was like, you know, so it can be a lot. So I, you know, if I'm doing more sessions in a day, then I prefer Facebook Live because I can kind of I can just, anyway, I'm not feeling everybody's energy as strongly. Okay. So that's 7-day retreats. They generally, you open a card on Thursday and you give them a deadline till Sunday. That's my recommendation. That's what I teach, right? It's a little bit of a shorter timeline. If that doesn't feel good to you, give them longer timeline. That's perfectly okay. Okay. Then there's 2.5-day retreats when you do 2 sessions on day 1, 2 sessions on day 2, final sessions on day 5, and you give people to Friday to decide. And you don't even have to give them till Friday to decide. You can give them early bird decision at this price. After that, it's that price, right? You don't have to do whatever feels right to you, whatever you think is going to be good for them. Like, what's a good deadline for them? Like, people really like some deadlines. Otherwise, they're going to think about it and forget. It's nice to have some early bird pricing or something like that, right? But you can also go, if that doesn't feel good to you and you really just want to people decide on their own when they're ready, and your program is like that, and you really don't want people to go against themselves and join too early, then that's okay. Give them no deadline at all and just leave it open. But just know that the human ego tends to procrastinate on the good stuff, right? So it's up to you. It's totally up to you. What else? We did the live launching thing too, which is like a 10-day model that Carolee Roach teaches. It's too much. That was way too much for me. It's a very profitable model. We did a couple of those. It was great. It's very profitable, but remember, you're holding intention. You're holding a vortex for people. You're giving a lot. You literally, and this is why I'm doing a 2-day, because you hold the intention and you hold the vortex, and it can be a little bit crazy, right? That's why I backed out of doing in-person retreats. It was like, oh my God, it's too much. I don't think I can hold space for that. It's a lot. Those of you guys who can do it, I have so much respect for you. But especially with the live launching, it's like you got to maintain the energy, and the energy has to go up as the days go. Day 9 and 10, or however many days more, like your energy has to be like up, and you're like, is this over yet? It's just like, it's way too long. Way too long. 5-day things, right? That works too. If a 5-day thing is really calling to you, just know that you have to give people a decision. If you just tell them on a Friday about your offer and you don't give them time to sort of ponder it and decide, it's going to be a little bit, you need to give people more time, and you're just going to have to be able to answer all their questions. Email launches. So when you do enough of your nurture, and when you have a dedicated email following, and I'm talking like 1,000 people plus opening your email, Interesting. Can you guys see me, hear me? Electrical went down. Hello? Can you guys let me know? That was funny. Okay, our electricity reset. This is Costa Rica. It's like electrical goes down all the time. All right, I have no idea what I was talking about. I'm so sorry, but I'm so sorry I made you guys wait. I was trying to post, like, don't worry about it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. but yeah, we're gonna all run. I don't want to go over time. So you guys have all the logistics for tomorrow. You got your links. If not, I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the buying guide. So excited. Hopefully this was of value to you guys. And I'm not going to be posting homework for this session to give you time to catch up for homework for sessions 1 and 2. Oh, email launches. I'm so sorry. Of course. I'll cover email launches. Okay. Secret code is bunny 2. My daughter loves bunnies. So there you have it. Okay, if you want one. Okay, so email launches. You know what? I'll cover this tomorrow. But yeah, I love them too. But you have to, your audience is to be ready. But we'll go for now. I am so thankful that we got to spend the day together. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you. It was wonderful. It was so wonderful. Love seeing all your comments. Love seeing all your homework. So I'm going to check the homework tonight after Lexi goes to bed. But now I got to run. Bye, everyone. Thank you.